Welcome. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on Social Security. The number one question here at Dick Van Dyke Financial that we get asked about Social Security is, when should I start my Social Security? This really is the number one question, the biggest question that baby boomers are pondering on this subject, and for good reason. Dick Van Dyke Financial, Ltd. is an independent retirement educator and a financial services provider. We are not endorsed by or in any way affiliated with the Social Security Administration. Understanding and optimizing Social Security for couples is much more complex than it is for most singles. We will be considering some basic election options, and then we will look at some advanced election strategies for married couples. You will want to be careful about electing early. You will have a discounted actuarial reduction in your retirement income benefit, and it will cause deeming, which means that you have received all available benefits in your month of entitlement. Now, full retirement age is not discounted. However, full retirement age may also not be the best time to elect, since it is possible to earn an 8% credit each year by delaying past full retirement age. This will allow you to earn your delayed credits. Yes, it is possible for a do-over in the first 12 months if you realize that you've made a mistake. Use Form 521, revoke your election, you can repay your benefit, and then restart the deferral process. You will now have a tax deduction or a credit from the returned income. New rules recently eliminated a 4-year payback and the do-over that really amounted to an interest-free loan. The possibilities of how and when to begin Social Security, especially for couples, can be very perplexing, since it is possible to have hundreds of scenarios using advanced strategies. When doing Social Security analysis, we use a powerful software program that will really run hundreds of combinations, and then we narrow it down to 1 or 2 best-case scenarios. Now, once you know approximately what your optimum election strategy is, then it is important to make certain that it will integrate with your other retirement objectives. Well, the next step for our clients is to simply do a retirement cash flow analysis. This allows a client to rest assured and make any adjustments as needed at the best time. Now, I know you would prefer a more definite answer, but the truth is, no single best age exists. There are many factors to be considered, such as earnings history, potential for longevity, when you elect, and there are several others that have to be considered. Many advisors use a simple break-even analysis saying something like, if you think you will pass away early, you should elect early, and if you believe you will live a long life, you should wait. This may not be the best advice we have found in many real-life situations. There may be a few times when a break-even analysis should be used, but unfortunately, this does not answer so many other fundamental questions such as spousal survivorship, greater inflation protection in retirement, and many other concerns that should be addressed. Breaking even means that at some point in time, if you live long enough, the lines on the chart will cross each other and the benefits equalize for a short time, whether you took your retirement income benefit early or waited the maximum time to take it. Boston College did a recent study estimating that at least an average of $14,000 is left on the table in unclaimed eligible benefits. Yet, in our experience, we have seen examples of more than 10 times that amount, adding up to well over $100,000 when comparing the worst strategies with the best. As you can see on this grid, if the wife has 9 whole election year strategies and the husband has 9 whole years, then mathematically there are 81 possible combinations of the best to the worst possible scenarios. Then if you add 5 to 10 different claiming strategies that are allowed based on different ages, the choices begin to increase exponentially. A break-even analysis just does not work well for married couples. When Social Security was originally started, women were encouraged and even expected to stay home and raise the children. Income benefits, that wouldn't work so well in our politically correct society today, but that was a different time, and income benefits at that time were designed to recognize and reward wives and mothers for their contribution to the family and to society as a whole. This is partially why Social Security benefits are generous, offering both a spousal benefit option and a survivor benefit option. A lower earning spouse is entitled to the higher of a benefit based upon his or her record, or 50% of the primary worker's full retirement benefit, adjusted for the spouse's claiming age. Now, generally speaking, the higher of the two being a top-up calculation, adding dollars to the lower benefit until it equals half of the primary earner's benefit. Again, beware. Claiming early will discount benefits even more when it comes to spousal benefits. It is also important to note that spousal benefits should not be delayed beyond full retirement age, since they are not eligible to earn delayed credit. Here are a few key rules about survivor benefits. Couples must have been married for at least 9 months at the date of death, unless there was an accident, and then that will be an exception. The survivor must be at least 60 years old if they want to get even a reduced benefit. Now, if they're disabled, they could be as young as 50, and to get the full benefit, they need to be full retirement age. Now, the survivor benefit is not available if the widow or the widower remarries before they turn age 60. And a divorced spouse survivor benefit is available if the marriage lasted at least 10 years. So 9 years and 11 months isn't going to cut it. Hopefully that doesn't affect anyone out here that's listening to this. We just never know, and the rules are the rules. Now we will have some fun. Are you ready for some new, more sophisticated concepts? You may have to pay pretty close attention to some of these optimization strategies. A term you may want to know is deeming. Deeming is when you elect prior to retirement age. This term means that you are deemed to have received every available benefit in your month of entitlement. After full retirement age, you get to pick and choose some benefits. That's where the fun begins, switching strategies from a limited benefit to a larger benefit. It can increase income dramatically. By doing a file and suspend, the primary earner can file and request immediately to suspend his or her income benefit. The spousal benefit is then available to the lower earning spouse. Now, the primary earning spouse can continue receiving delayed credits on his or her benefit. Filing a restricted application is a possibility to collect a spousal benefit instead of filing a standard application for his or her own benefit, then continue receiving delayed credits on the non-spousal benefit, allow it to grow, and then switch from the lower spousal benefit to the higher non-spousal benefit at the optimum time in the future. Okay, let's begin a case study. John and Jane are both 66 today, and John is a maximum earner, so he's going to get about $2,400 a month, and Jane's full retirement age income will bring in $1,100 per month. Now, the advisor suggested that John take his at age 70 and get those delayed credits, and for Jane to go ahead and take hers immediately, but let's not quite so fast. Maybe there's a possible switch strategy here. Well, I see several switch strategies available. John files and suspends, making the spousal benefit available to Jane. John could file a restricted application for the spousal-only benefits. Or John files and suspends, Jane files a restricted application for spousal-only benefits, and then switches to her own benefit at age 70. Now, if no switch strategy is employed, this couple is leaving at least $26,400 on the table. There are several more variables that have to be considered. Now, with John and Jane, it made it kind of easy because they did not have much of an age difference, but age difference makes quite a difference when you're setting up these strategies. There's a life expectancy difference that we have to consider, an earnings record difference, the cost of living assumptions, and also discount rate assumptions. What do we think that the money would realistically earn over the next 20, 30 years? So we have to look at those type of concerns in computing what is the best strategy. Even though a break-even analysis falls short in many areas, when it comes to a married couple, it's even more of a problem because you really have to consider the spousal and survivor benefits, especially when there is an age or a life expectancy gap. Now, the difference between the best election decisions and the worst election decisions, especially on married couples, can be well over $100,000 in today's dollars. Let's have a little recap. Total family benefits depend on three primary things: earnings record, life expectancy, when you elect. For a married couple, this means there are 81 possible combinations of election years, considering whole years only. Additionally, there are 9 potential election strategies, including switch options. So, as you can see, the different strategies increase exponentially when you start putting all of these factors together. Here is another case study that we put together on Tom and Mary, which is very similar to what we do for our clients. As you notice, there's a report here, and you may want to actually pause this slide and just read the report and look at this strategy that we've set up for Tom and Mary. Now, the one thing that I want to really point out on this report is that the worst possible combination is $582,953 in total family benefit. And the best possible strategy is $692,000, which is over $100,000 difference to their benefit. So as you can see, there's some other possibilities that they could have by electing at different times that are listed on this report. And it's so important to have this type of a report where you actually know what your best choices are and what some other choices might be if you made those that are maybe not as optimal. Get your own personalized report that we create with very powerful software. This can show you the optimal strategy that's actually tailored to you. If you look at Tom and Mary, the income difference from worst to best was almost $110,000, so that's pretty substantial. But it does not end there. Social Security is actually just one portion of your overall retirement plan. So we're going to take a look at some changes that were needed for Tom and Mary after doing a retirement cash flow analysis. Let me just point out a few things here about Tom and Mary. First of all, if you'll notice, the blue field up in the right-hand corner on Social Security is $61,266. This was before their Social Security was optimized. And then if you'll also notice their ages, at age 86 and 84 was the year that they actually ran out of money. So that would be in the year 2037. Now, obviously, this didn't make Tom and Mary very happy. So red, as you notice on the graph up there, that actually is where you run out of money in retirement, and there's just no substitute for a thorough analysis of your individual situation. Making minor adjustments early can avoid shortages before they even happen. As you can imagine, Tom and Mary were not very pleased with the current road that they were on and some of the decisions that they had made. So in taking action to correct that situation, the first thing that they did was they optimized their social security benefit. Then secondly, they cut their expenses by just $5,000 per year down to $65,000 per year. Now, they then on third, they repositioned their 401k into a secure income foundation. And the fourth thing they did was agreed that they are willing to monitor their retirement annually to make any adjustments needed. They could really see the value of this cash flow analysis at that point. So they felt very fortunate that they were able to consider their options when changes and adjustments could be made more easily. Now, on the next slide, we're going to look at the difference this made for Tom and Mary. It was quite substantial. Now, as you can see, this slide with Tom and Mary just making a few changes like optimizing Social Security and repositioning an asset or two, it gets rid of all the red. to assure a secure peace of mind retirement. Now, if we take a look here up in that right-hand corner again, you'll notice that with Social Security optimized, we're looking at 92,768 instead of 61,000 something. So they're really getting at this same age that was on the other chart, 86 and 84. Their Social Security benefit is about $92,700. So it's $30,000 more than by not optimizing. And you'll also notice that there is no red left on this graph. So as you can see, it makes a tremendous difference to make your Social Security integrate with your overall retirement plan. And this allows Tom and Mary to feel good about their retirement and sleep well at night. I'm sure they're very pleased that they went through this exercise. So it's your decision to settle for a lower benefit or take a proactive approach to optimize your Social Security and your retirement. I know what you're probably thinking. So what's this going to cost me? Well, first of all, we are a financial services provider. We offer our analysis service on a complimentary basis to earn your trust and demonstrate our competency. If the analysis indicates you need nothing, the only compensation we ask from you is just that you would refer us to others. If the analysis indicates changes are in order, we ask that you allow us to assist you. If you agree with our recommendation, there is no obligation, and compensation for the financial services needed will be decided at that time. Thank you for taking your time to consider us in these retirement analysis matters.